Everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I shall give will never thirst again. Praise be to Jesus. The relationship between the Yahweh and the Israelites is so intimate, that of husband and wife, which is sustained by the faithfulness to each other. In the history of Israel, the covenantal relationship is broken on account of going after other gods, not trusting the Yahweh, lack of recognition to God's redemptive work, and all the more putting the Lord into the test. In short, they have forgotten to believe in the mighty God who liberated them from the slavery of Egyptians. As God sent Moses to liberate his people from King Pharaoh, so also Jesus, sent by his Father, goes to the town of Samaria to deepen the faith, where he encounters a Samaritan woman. Jesus openly challenges and breaks open the boundary between the chosen people and the rejected people. For the Jews, the Samaritans are the enemies because they have disputes about the correct location of the cultic center. For the Samaritans, the place of sacrifice is Mount Gerizim because God blessed the mountain, therefore it is the mountain of blessings, not the Jerusalem temple. On the contrary, for Jews, Jerusalem was the only place of worship. Here begins the conversation. Jesus requests Samaritan woman for water. This recalls the story of Elijah and the widow of Sidon in the first book of Kings, chapter 17, verses 10 and 11. In both stories, a man interrupts a woman engaged in household work to request a gesture of hospitality. The parallels between Elijah and Jesus suggest the image of Jesus as prophet. In contrast to that, the Israelites demanded water in the desert. Jesus, meeting the Samaritan woman at a well, recalls the betrothal stories of Isaac in the book of Genesis chapter 24 and Jacob in the book of Genesis chapter 29. Jesus is willing to give the living water to her. She understands the living water as a fresh or ever-flowing streams of water, and she perceives Jesus as a wonder worker because he is going to give her water. But the water Jesus offers a life-giving water and is associated with the gifts of the Spirit. Jesus tells her to bring her husband, but she replies that she has no husband. Here, Jesus reminds her, "You have 5 husbands, and he whom you have now is not yours." The text does not speak about the woman's immorality or private life of the woman. The 5 husbands refer to the 5 gods which the Assyrian brought from 5 countries. When the Assyrian took all the able men from Samaria, the women had to marry other men. When she recognizes Jesus as a prophet, she is bringing forward not a personal issue, but a national issue like right place of worship. Jesus answers plainly that true worshippers will worship the Father in truth and spirit in the eschatological age. Samaritan woman is never judged as a sinner. On the contrary, she is portrayed as a model of growing faith. The Israelites, after having experienced God's mighty deeds in the land of Egypt and in the wilderness, they failed to believe in the Yahweh, whereas the Samaritan woman, socially separated from Jews, believes in Jesus as the Messiah and bears a witness to him. Let us strive after the living water to bear witness to Christ in the season of Lent. Live Jesus.